All right, well, hello to everyone. Let's get started. I've got Alan at the top of the queue here. So, Alan, what have you got?
Fairly easy question. Marcia's computer, there are four users: admin, Marcia, my son, and guest. My kids when we try to keep them off the computer, they still figure out how to get on the computer. Is there one way I can just lock the whole computer out to everybody without going through every one of these and putting a password? And a corollary question is, what happens if I forget the password of one of the users? How can I find it?
Okay, so what you're talking about is the multiple users on your computer. And in system preferences, under users and groups, you'll see all those different users. On this computer that we're looking at on my screen right now, I might have two users. I do. Yeah, so I've got an admin and I've got a test. And let's consider the test user the kids user. Now, one thing that you can do is lock out the kids users within certain time periods. If you turn on parental controls, now they cannot be administrators, and you notice in my user, I've got my main user that I'm in right now is called admin, and it happens to be an administrator, and then a second user called test is also an administrator. You cannot lock out administrators from certain times of things, but you can give, if they're managed users, then you can turn on parental controls and disallow computer use after 8 o'clock, or you could say they're not allowed to be on the computer until 6 a.m. in the morning. You could also say Johnny or Sally only has 30 minutes of computer use within their user. One of the issues that you're up against here is that you, as well as everybody else, we all have very smart children, and those smart children realize very quickly that, oh, my time is up, but I know my dad's password, or I know my mom's password, so I'll just log into their user. So we still have to have that responsibility as parents to monitor. Nothing beats good parenting. I wrote a really long parenting newsletter that I'll talk about in a second up on the web, and there's some reasons I didn't send that out that I'll go over in a minute. But hello, nothing beats being a good parent. But with all that being said, the only way to lock them out of their own user is put on parental controls within each user and limit the amount of time or limit the time frame that they're in. But you cannot just lock out a user. If you lock your user, everybody else is locked out. That can't happen. If your user, if you walk away from your computer, your user that is, and you can even set it to require a password after 15 minutes of walking away, let's say, but then they sit down and they have the ability to go into their user. So
Okay.
I think
there's no way to, when the computer's turned on, there's one password to have it just not even work.
no, not that I know of. Not that I know
And
of.
if I forget a password,
Now, if you forget your password, you have the ability to reset the other user's passwords from it. The chances of you forgetting all the passwords are slim, but let's say you forget one of the other users, but you remember your user. And in this case, I'm going to go unlock my system preferences with the bottom lock there, put in my super secret password, and now let's say I've forgotten test's password. I select on that, and I have the ability to reset their password. Now, so I, being Mr. Admin, can reset Mr. Test's password. Now, if you reset another administrator's password, you are also resetting what's called their keychain. So that means that if I was to reset Mr. Test's password right here and right now, then when I log into Mr. Test later, Mr. Test's keychain or their passwords for their email, their passwords for certain websites they visit in Safari will no longer apply. They will have to enter in all those other passwords again. So it becomes a little bit of a mess. And that's actually what that sentence says right here that we just pulled up. To reset the password for the login keychain, use keychain access. Keychain access is not a friendly program for any of us to use, and it gets in the way, but it's a necessary evil. So hopefully that addresses it a little bit. But look at the parental. If I wanted to make test, I would have to first take away administrator rights from Mr. Test. So now Mr. Test is a standard user. Then I would need to go into parental controls and apply parental controls to Mr. Test, which would make him not a standard user, but a managed user. So that might be your best option. In other words, you could give your kids 30 minutes of each each user time period. With that, let me throw this out right at the very beginning here. I wrote a very long newsletter recently, and I debated on whether or not to send it out. And I ended up deciding not to send it out. I called it Parenting in Today's Tech, and it's extremely long, and it's very aggressive. If you guys get a chance, I mean, if your children are grown, then it's not really a big deal, but basically in here, I kind of just say, hey, you have to be a parent. And oftentimes, a lot of the clients that I work with want the computer to do the parenting job for them. And I want the computer to do the job for me as well. But you have to sometimes stand over your child's device. But anyway, if you get a chance and you want to read over it, please do. If you want to send me some feedback, I'd love to hear from it. But it's extremely long. And the reason I didn't send it out is because it's very accusatory is the word, I guess. There are people that would say, wait a minute, he's kind of talking about me. So generally the people that need to read this are not the kind of people the kind of people that are going to read it. I do deal with a lot of parents who barely know their children's middle name from time to time. So
pitiful.
Yeah, I see all ranges of parenting. Now, to Alan's credit, if you look behind him, he's got a gigantic bookshelf of children's books, and I consider him a very good parent because he supplies lots and lots of literature, and he's very engaged with his kids. All right, so moving on, I'm going to get off of that and get off my parenting soapbox for a moment and move on to Joan. Joan, what have you got?
Same problem. I have headphones on, and I'm getting my own feedback. Should I unplug the headphones?
You can try that. I don't know. I'll turn down over here a little bit. Me and feedback feedback is my middle name.
Is that better?
I'll just try to turn down as best I can here. But yeah, we are getting some feedback. Maybe if you turn your volume down a little bit.
Then I can't. I'm old and I can't hear.
Well, I wish it worked better.
I'm having the same problem. If I shut my MacBook Pro off and then put it on, Wi-Fi pops right up. If I put it to sleep, it takes me about 5-10 minutes to go through the diagnostics. I've had the same problem for weeks.
Okay. So the MacBook not automatically joining after sleep versus restart, that could be a sleep issue. There are some power settings. I'm going to drill you down into the catacombs of your computer here, so get ready. All right, you ready? Now remember, I record this, and so if you don't keep up with me, you'll be able to watch this later, hopefully tomorrow on YouTube.
All right, just go slowly, I'm old.
Okay, so there is a secret area that I'm going to point you to. First of all, you've got to get to your hard drive to this level right here where there's library. Now, I selected my hard drive and then I went to library. After I go to library, somebody's got a lot of feedback. If maybe, I can't tell who that might be. Maybe if everybody brings their volume down a little bit.
Select the hard drive from my desktop.
Yeah, and then go to library. And after you go to library, you're going to drill down to a folder called Preferences.
Okay, that didn't, wait, Scotty, that didn't, all right.
I don't expect you to do this along with me right now. I want you to remember this is being recorded, so you can go back and kind of look through it as well. But you don't want to do this at this moment, really. You want to do this when you're ready to restart your computer. So you're going to go to your hard drive and you're going to go find library. If you can't find your hard drive, you can go under the word Go in the menu bar and you can select Computer from the menu bar. After that's done, you'll see that your hard drive shows up. Select that. Your main goal here is to get to library. Once you're in library, you're going to go to a folder called Preferences. Once you've selected the Preferences folder, you're going to go all the way to the bottom to a folder called System Configuration. System Configuration holds several things, including a few items that are relevant to your issue. One of which is airport preferences. You see that says com.apple.airport. That's one. Another one that's relevant is this one called network interfaces. That's 2. A third one that's called com.apple.powermanagement, that's 3. I'm going to say those again. com.apple.airport, com.apple.powermanagement, com.apple.network, and there's even another one over here, com.apple.autowake. It's not important that you remember those really. What actually you can do is you can take the entire contents of that system configuration folder and you can throw them away. Now, if you drag these to the trash, well, or you could just go to the Apple Store and have them work on it. But I'm telling you, this is one way that you could try to fix it. So if you throw that away, restart your computer, there are a couple things that you're going to have to check. You restart your computer is now going to know, I don't know what network to sign on to. So you go up to your airport and you select your favorite network in your airport. You'll see your neighbors and you'll select your own. Then there's one more thing you want to do and you're done. Go back to System Preferences after you've restarted your computer and go to Sharing. If you go to Sharing, make sure that you retype the name of your computer right here. Now you see where my name is empty? That's not good. I don't want it. That shouldn't be empty. I need to name that. I'm going to call this Town Hall iMac. That name should not be empty. But if you throw those files away that I just talked about, that name will probably be empty. So you want to just retype this Jones MacBook Pro or something like that. So I'm going to go over the directions one more time. Under the word Go in the Finder window, you go to Computer. Let me go find my file. I see, you'll probably see Macintosh HD. Select that so you get to Library. Once you get to Library, drill down to the Preferences folder. Then drill down to the folder called System Configuration. You can take all of those things and throw them away. All the contents of the System Configuration folder and throw them away. After you've done that and you restart your computer, rejoin your Wi-Fi network because your computer will not join your Wi-Fi network automatically. That's one of the reasons we're throwing this away is that it rebuilds that little set of files in there. So you rejoin your Wi-Fi network. Then in System Preferences, go to Sharing. And if the name of your computer is blank, retype the name of your computer. And it can be anything. Jones MacBook. My awesome MacBook Pro. Doesn't matter. All right? That is your task. You're not going to destroy anything by throwing those files away. All right? I'm going to jump around here a little bit. I'm going to go next to Joanne. Joanne, what have you got?
Well, I don't know if you're going to be able to do this, but I still am having problems despite the tutorial and everything else. Admin passwords to download 7704, whatever it is. I got it on the MacBook Pro, but I can't get it on the iMac.
Okay. So you're having trouble. Are you using your iMac this very moment?
No, yes, I'm on the iMac.
Okay.
It keeps telling me it doesn't know my admin password, so I guess it's different for this than it was.
Okay. So there are multiple passwords here. There's your computer's admin password, and then there's your Apple ID password. So I want you to do something. Do you have your phone nearby? Do you have your iPhone nearby?
I do.
Okay. Go to your iPhone. And you don't have to say this out loud. This is private information to you. But look at your iPhone. Go to Settings. Scroll to iTunes and App Store. And at the top, you will see an Apple ID.
Wait, where am I scrolling to?
You're going to iTunes and App Store.
Okay.
Now you're going to see in blue Apple ID.
Right.
Okay, is that your Gmail email address that's listed at the top?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we need to prove that we know that password. Do you download apps from time to time?
Yes.
Okay, so you feel confident that you know that password.
Yes.
All right, we're going to see if you do. So I'm going to jump over to your screen. You will see a request for us to look at your screen. and allow that request in a second. Okay, if you will go into iTunes on the computer that we're looking at, if you'll open up iTunes, and after you open up iTunes, on the left-hand column of iTunes, you will see iTunes Store. All right, select iTunes Store. All right, now you see your name up there. Click on your email address in the top left corner area, and it's going to ask you to sign in. Use that password that you know. We won't see it. We'll just see dots, but type your password in and then hit View Account. And it's probably kind of slow because we're on this network connection. We're streaming using a lot of your bandwidth. I'm trying to wait for that to log in.
Never mind. Start over. Hold on.
Did you log in? Ah, interesting. Try it again.
No, I need to put it back in.
Okay, so go to iTunes Store. What I'm doing here is trying to prove to myself that you know your password. Because that's...
I do know my password. It's just, I always hit a wrong letter.
Okay, so then put it in again. Go ahead and click on your email. I don't know if you have logged in yet, but I want to see that you log in one more time. So go click on your email address, top left-hand corner, your email address. Click on that for us.
It's, okay.
And it'll ask you to sign in. Okay, you can quit iTunes. You can quit iTunes. If you quit iTunes now, top left-hand corner, there you go, and you can just choose to quit. We get that out. I'll block that out, the address. I'll block that out before I post it. Okay, so now let's go to the App Store. Fourth icon, bottom left area of the screen, the blue A. Okay, go to Purchases. Top right area, kind of. Yep. Okay. Go to Featured or Top of the Charts. Either one, doesn't matter. Wait a minute, it looks like you've downloaded it.
I did download it. I just can't install it until I get my password.
Okay, open up System Preferences. It's the gear.
Over here?
You can do it under the black apple. Okay. I thought it was your Apple ID password you didn't know. I think it's your admin password you might not know. So go to Users and Groups. Yeah, go to Users and Groups, fourth line, first item. All right, in the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see a lock. Click that lock. All right. You have an admin password. You think... I'm sure you have some ideas of what this password is.
Well, I've tried everything.
The one starting with S?
Yes.
Try them right now for us.
Okay.
Well, okay, yeah, go ahead and try a couple. Usually if you get it wrong 3 times, it'll give you a hint.
It didn't. That was the S one.
That's okay. Just hit the lock again. Hit the lock again. Okay, try nothing. Just hit unlock with nothing, with it blank. No, unlock. The blue word unlock. All right. So you don't know your admin password.
No.
The way to reset this password is not pleasant, and you're going to be dealing with this keychain issue that I just mentioned a few moments ago. I've got directions on how to do this several times on my website in the answer section, but I'm just going to kind of talk you through what you're going to have to do if you don't know your admin password. Now, if you don't know your admin password and you reset your admin password this way that I'm going to describe to you, which is the only way you can reset an admin password, then the next time you log in, your email is going to say, hey, what's your Gmail email password? iTunes is going to say, hey, what's this password? You're going to get a lot of prompts for other passwords. Our world is filled with passwords, and you have misplaced the admin password. The admin password is responsible for keeping what's called your keychain secure. So I encourage you to sit and try as many more passwords as you can before. I remember you had one that had started with the S and ended with the number 1 as well. You've tried that. You could try misspelling the word. It's in your brain and you know it. It's just you've forgotten that you know it. But I bet if you spent some more time digging through it just right here, you would come up with it. But if you can't, here's what you do. I'll talk you through it, and then I'll show you on my website where the instructions are.
I saw it on your website as well as a tutorial.
Okay, good. So basically what you're going to have to do is you'll turn your computer off. You're going to hold down the Option key and turn your computer back on. And these instructions are all on my website. You're going to hold down the Option key and turn your computer back on. When you turn your computer on, holding down the Option key, you will be presented with 2 icons. One says Macintosh HD and one says Recovery Partition. You will choose Recovery Partition. That then turns your computer on into an area that you've never seen before, and it's not really even your computer, it's just sort of a startup screen. But in that is a little menu bar at the top, just like we have now. One of the menu bar items, I believe, is called Utilities. You'll select Utility and you will choose Terminal. You have to open up Terminal, and then you will type in the word Reset Password, all one word with no spaces. That then brings up a secret application called the Password Reset Utility. You'll choose your user, and you will put in a new password for that user. Turn your computer off, turn it back on, and your password will be reset. And that's how you do it. Now, the instructions are, I've probably answered this question 5 times in my answer section. It's just I'm too lazy to go look for it. I always just re-answer it. But if you've seen it on my website, that's exactly what you're doing. You're basically turning your computer off, booting into the recovery partition, going into Terminal, typing in Reset Password, all one word. That opens up Password Reset Utility. Choose your user, put in the new password, and then you're good to go. The only way that you could...
Wait, Scotty, I just got this. It finally gave me a hint. It never gave me a hint before.
You got into it?
I think. Can you still see my screen?
I turned it off, but I'm going to jump back over to you again. That's good, because you don't want to... allow us to see your screen. Okay, so the words you just typed, you remember that word. You've got that word in your head.
Yes.
Oh, great. And it was different than all the other ones that you tried.
Yes.
Okay.
It never gave me a hint before.
Great. Good. Okay. Well, all right, that's good. So now you can quit System Preferences. And let's see if we can go find that download. You can quit system preferences under the black or under system preferences, or just close. Yeah, just close it. That's fine too. Okay, so now that when you're ready to do that, if you will open up a Finder window by hitting the happy face in the bottom left-hand corner, the Picasso happy face. I want to find your applications folder. I wonder if that installer is in your applications folder. So right under the, select applications, and I'm going to see if that Mountain Lion installer is there. If you will scroll down in that column, keep going, and get downward. There you go. Okay. All right, I don't see it in there. So when you're ready to update, you'll do that then through the App Store. So go back to the apps. That's it right there. Yeah, that's it. That's what you want. So when you're ready, don't do it right now, but when you're ready, double click on that. That's install OS X Mavericks, and it will walk you through the process, and you quit all of your other applications, your computer will restart, you're in business. That's what you want to click on. Okay?
Cool, yeah.
All right, Daryl, what have you got?
Nothing's fine.
All right. Let's jump over to...
I'm getting Joan as my feedback person.
Yeah, Joan, maybe Joan, if you'll switch back to your headphones. Yeah, I'm getting the massive feedback as well.
Okay, because there's no noise in my house whatsoever right now.
Yeah, we're hearing ourselves back. Thank you, Daryl, for troubleshooting that. While Joan plugs that in, let's go to Emma Day. Emma Day, how are you? What can we do for you this evening?
Thank you. I've got so many questions. I don't even know where to start.
Well, fine. Pick an easy one. Joanne just picked a hard one.
All right, I'll try. I tried to download movies, or I tried to make a movie out of videos that I've done, home videos. And when I think I finalized it, but when I did, I wondered if I could go back and change it because it's too long, and I wanted to burn it to a disc, but does that mean iMovie or does it mean iDVD?
All right,
I couldn't figure it out.
That's a good question. And we've talked about this before. 2 years from now, there will be no DVD burning. So that's our opening statement. There will be no more computers that burn DVDs, or at least no Macs anyway, and we're really close to that now, but you still want to burn one. So for now, you can burn one. In iMovie is the place that you put your video together. You put titles on it, you put in the clips that you want, you put an ending on it. iMovie's where all that stuff comes together. But then, iMovie doesn't just burn it to a DVD. Within iMovie, you can send it to iTunes, you can publish it to YouTube, publish it to CNN if you want to, and there's a couple of other places you could publish your video. But also within iMovie, you can send it to iDVD. And the only program that speaks DVD is iDVD. Now on a brand new computer, if you go out and buy a brand new computer, maybe even any brand new computer at this point, there is no iDVD on it. iDVD is a dead program. But that doesn't mean you still can't use it. So within iMovie, after you've organized and you've put your movie together, under I think it's Share, you will send to iDVD. If you send your project to iDVD, iDVD opens up, and iDVD is the only program that will actually author or put it into DVD speak. Now, you could export a video file. You could just export it as a QuickTime movie, and you could drag that QuickTime movie onto a blank DVD and burn that, but that DVD would not be playable in a DVD player. You could bring that DVD over to my house and I could put it in my computer and I could look at that video file, but I could not put it into a DVD player. The only way to get a DVD, what's called authored, or burned in such a way that a DVD player can realize it and read it, is through iDVD.
Okay, well, I looked in my computer things that I've got. I mean, the settings in Apple for my computer, and it said iDV wasn't activated.
Not activated. I don't believe. Well, I have not. I'm going to jump over to your screen right now, and we're going to try to open up iDVD. So you should see a request for us to look at your screen.
Okay.
So allow that.
Give control, is that what it
Yeah,
says?
yeah. Give control and then make yourself the presenter.
Okay. Show my screen. Okay.
Yeah. Now we're going to go to find iDVD. Now there will be a day when we update our computers and iDVD will even stop working. But hopefully that day is not today. Right now, if you will go, well actually I'm going to drive. I'm going to go up to Spotlight and I'm going to click in Spotlight and I'm going to type in iDVD. Alright, there's our old buddy iDVD. He's hanging there waiting. I'm going to hit return and let's see if iDVD will actually even start. It looks like it's launching. First, we just want to see if iDVD even works. I think it'll still work in Mavericks, but I bet in the next version of the operating system that they'll probably release in October, they might kill iDVD. I had a gentleman...
To release them so quickly, one right after the other.
They're keeping up with iOS 7, iOS 8, now Mavericks, but they're giving away for free now. There just won't be as big a change. Okay, it looks like iDVD works. That's great. But just opening up iDVD is not going to help you. You have to send your project to iDVD from within iTunes. So let's go take a look at iTunes. I'm going to say to iDVD, quit iDVD. I don't want you anymore right now. And I'm going to go find iMovie. Do we have it in your dock? I don't see it, so I'm going to go up and hit the Spotlight search on your computer, and I'm going to type in iMovie. Okay, and by the way, this is a good time to point out that there are two versions of iMovie nowadays. There's iMovie, and you can see it in Imaday's search results. There's iMovie with a purple star, and there's iMovie 9 with a black or a gray star. iMovie 9 and iMovie, the new iMovie, we'll call it iMovie 10. The user interfaces are 100% different, completely different. I don't know which iMovie you were using, but let's practice in iMovie 9. And by the way, notice that she has both versions. The reason she has both versions is Apple learned this a long time ago. When they do a major update to a piece of software, used to, when you installed that piece of software, it got rid of the old piece of software. And then people go, I can't, where's my old piece of software that I'm used to? So now Apple smartened up and they said, when we put in the new piece, we're going to leave the old software as well, so you can go back and forth and you can decide which one you want to use. That's not true with software like iTunes and iPhoto, but larger pieces of software like iMovie, that's the case. Now I'm opening up old iMovie right now, Imaday, and I know it's old iMovie because it says iMovie 9, and it's a black or a gray, dark gray star. All right, see that word share up there?
Wait a minute, I'm confused because in the bottom where my dock is, it's a black.
Yes. Yeah, that's the one. That's the old iMovie, iMovie 9.
Okay.
All right, and I'm just opening up an iMovie 9 just because I know that iMovie 9 will share the project over to iDVD. I'm not sure if iMovie 10 will do it. So I'm starting with what I know. There's a strategy here. So under the word share, and iMovie is in the middle of doing its little song and dance here. It's got to update some stuff. When I click share, you see that iDVD there? That's what you'll use. You will choose that, and you'll send your project over to iDVD. Were you doing that before?
I don't know, but it's gray. It doesn't look like you can do that.
That's correct. It's gray right now because we don't have any projects selected, because right now iMovie is in the middle of doing its little song and dance. Now iMovie just finished with its little song and dance. Let's see if I can pull this up a little bit to get this higher up in your screen. And it doesn't look like you have any project. Oh, no, there you are. All right, I'm going to select one project. Let's say this is the project you were working on. All right,
Okay.
I'm going to go up to the word share. And after I click share, that iDVD should be dark. I'm a little slow on trying to control your computer. There it is. See how it's dark now? Now, if I select iDVD, and I don't want to select iDVD right now, because if I do, iMovie's going to do this. It's going to say, okay, I'll move the movie over. Give me about 20 minutes, and it will take it, and it'll slowly export it into iDVD. And then when you're in iDVD finally, after you've gone and gotten a cup of coffee, and you select to burn the disc, you better go get a couple more cups of coffee, because to burn a DVD takes a while. All right? But
Okay.
that's your process. Now, that's in iMovie 9, and we know the difference between iMovie and iMovie 9 because iMovie 9 had the black, and we know that we can work in projects in iMovie 9. You've got several projects that you've worked on, and we know that we can share. But while we're at it, let's just go take a look at the new version of iMovie. Now, everybody look, you see you got projects here, you've got events down here, you've got a window that you can edit in, you got grayscale, like a light gray and a dark gray. Now we're going to jump over and take a look at what the new iMovie looks like. So I'm quitting iMovie 9, and we're going to go do that search again. I have a lot of clients that run into these problems with iMovie and iMovie 9. That's why I'm spending a little bit of time on it. Now we're opening up the other iMovie. Notice the icon is purple now. And the interface is going to look completely different. Now, I have not gone into the share area in the new iMovie, but it would not surprise me if iDVD is not a choice. So the new iMovie is opening, and you will compare interfaces right now. I have had people tell me, although I've not tried this myself, that iMovie 9 projects don't show up in iMovie 10. I think that it's a different format, but I might be mistaken. We'll find out. All right, look up at the top there. There's no share button immediately, so that's one thing that I kind of recognize, or that jumps out. There's no share. I'm sure there's a share somewhere. It's just they've moved it. And we're waiting for iMovie to start. Still waiting.
I'll tell you what, if Everyday knows how to do iMovie, she's way ahead of me.
Well, the problem is, I finalized it, and I don't think I know what I'm doing.
Well,
I know I've already duplicated some of it in the finalized product.
well, she does. We saw those projects, but the point here that I guess I'm trying to make is that we saw these projects in iMovie 9. It looks like iMovie 10 isn't behaving, so I'm going to abandon iMovie 10. It might start eventually, but it looks like it's taking a long time. iMovie 10 is going to take it's going to require a more modern computer. Imaday's computer is not as young as her hard drive inside it is, but iMovie 10 is going to be a pretty involved program, so that's probably one of the reasons it's taken. See, there it comes. So now you see they've integrated. Yeah, see they've integrated the share button right here. It looks like you don't have any projects here in the library. We'll click over. It might take forever for that to click over. But you see it's very different. It's more GarageBand-y. It looks a little bit more like GarageBand. So anyway, that's the story on that.
Did you import it from the other one to this one?
I don't think you can
I
import.
didn't even know that those had changed.
Yeah, see, I don't think you can import those. It's just Imaday's computer's taking a while. I don't think that you can. I haven't spent a lot of time in this. Looks like maybe those projects are there. Looks like maybe the projects are there. So if we clicked on one project, and it's just going to, your computer's on the slow side. So, but if we were to select this and then we would go up to share, it would be interesting to see whether or not iDVD was a choice.
Can I change the ones that I finalized?
Yeah, but I think you're honestly, Imaday, I think you're better off staying in iMovie 9.
Okay.
Let's see. It looks like the share just came up. And look, I don't see any iDVD in there. My thought was right.
It does have creator.
Yeah, but there's nowhere in there that says, hey, you want to burn this to a disk? So if you want to, let's make a blanket statement here. If you want to burn this movie to a disk, stay in iMovie 9.0. All right?
This is, mine says iMovie 9.9.
9.0.9 is the old iMovie. This is iMovie 10. And if I go to About iMovie up here, this is the new version. And you see right there, it says version 10.0.2. This is iMovie 10, and it's that purple. And I would suggest, unless you want to learn this software right now, and I don't think you do, stick with iMovie 9.0.9. And the way to get...
Share it with iDVD.
Right.
And then you can burn it.
Yes. All right, I'm going to open up the...
Change it. And you change it if you finalize.
change it before you burn it, because once you burn it, that's a long process. It might take you an hour to burn that thing. So make sure you have the movie the way you want it.
You get the duplicates out.
Now, in video, there's not really duplicate video probably. You might have several pictures, maybe some slideshow items.
Well, I managed to get some duplicates in there, and it ended up being 25 minutes long.
Well, use iMovie 9 and use that little timeline in iMovie, and just like you edited it before, just you select on one cell and hit delete. I'm not going to get into that right now. That gets pretty specific. But I am going to open it up. If anybody's got some random questions, just jump in, and I won't go back down the line. So who wants to just jump in? Anybody?
I have a quick,
Okay, Joan first, and then Joanne. Joan?
okay, I'm not on the right computer now, but it would be the same for anything. Under preferences, when I plug my headphones in, I only was hearing through the right side, not the left. So I went into system preferences under sound.
Yep.
And sure enough, or like a ghost, it had moved all the way to the right. So I moved it back to the middle. Then the next day, I was playing, I don't know, listening to something. Same thing, only could hear out of the right headphone, went to system preferences, the slider was all the way to the right. Now, believe me, I haven't messed with it. I keep it, but every day I have to put it back to the middle.
That's interesting. I'm going to show you something. Remember that long set of instructions that I gave you a few minutes ago? Well,
No, I don't. I'm gonna have to, I think that's way over my head.
Well,
Anyway,
I'm going to show you something. If you follow that set of instructions, and I'm going to run through it again real fast. Go, computer, Macintosh HD, library.
I can't even write that fast.
That's okay. That's why I record it. That's why I record this. Preferences, because you can watch the video and pause. Then I go down to system configuration. This file right here called preferences, which is in that same bucket of those files, that file right there is in charge of keeping the volume in the middle or to the right or to the left. When you throw those away, if you choose to do this and you throw those away and you restart your computer, that problem may go away.
It's scary.
Okay, or take it to the Apple Store and have them look at it. But this is, like I said, there's your answer. Okay, Joanne, what you got?
What's involved in changing the password on my iMac?
You want to change it. You don't like the one that you have and you want to maybe change that.
Correct.
No problem. There are really two things. You can do it the easy way or you can do it the safe way. The easy way is to go to System Preferences, go to Users and Groups, select your user on the left-hand side, which is the one that you're going to be in already. And I'm in mine, and I want to change password. You see it says Change Password right there. Click Change Password. You put your old one in, put your new one in, and then give yourself a hint. Always give yourself a hint, and then choose to change password. Now, if I choose to change this password, I'm going to do it right now. My old password, my new password. All right. Now, when I do that, I've just changed this admin password. But I told you there were two ways. The easy way and the safe way. That was the easy way.
Wait, I'm not, is the admin password the same as the password that I just type in to get into, to log in
Yes.
to the computer?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the same password you just remembered a moment ago.
Oh, I never knew it was the same password.
That is your admin password. If you choose under the black apple, Joanne, to log out of your user, then the only way you're going to get back into that user when you try to log in is to put that password in that you were struggling with, that you now know.
Right, which is the password I want to change.
Okay.
So that password to get to log in is always the same as your admin password.
That is your admin password. It's not the same as, it is your admin password. Yeah. All right. Now, I said that there was a second way, a safe way to do it. The safe way to do it is to use that same area that we just did, but before you do this, and here's the big flag, I'm going to put a big flag up. Before you change that password, you go to Spotlight, you look up Keychain. We're talking a lot about passwords tonight in Keychain. And you open up Keychain. Now, I'm going to, once Keychain opens up here, give me a second. Okay, I've got a lot of personal information in my Keychain, so let me make sure I put it to an area that I don't have to go clean off. All right, so there's Keychain. Notice in the top left, what I did was I went to Spotlight and I searched for Keychain. Now notice in Keychain that my top lock up there is unlocked. This is an important thing. If that top were locked like this, and I changed my password over here, then my new password would not have the right to look at all my old passwords that are random, like my Mac.com password and an Apple ID password and all kinds of other passwords that I've saved in there, which means that when I go to check my mail, it would go, "What? We can't get access to your password. Keychain's not letting us see it because you changed your password and you didn't tell Keychain you changed it." The moral of the story here is this. Before you go into users and groups and system preferences and hit that change password, open up Keychain access and unlock that little button right there. Once that's unlocked, then the left hand will talk to the right hand. All right?
Okay, so what do I do after I unlock it?
Nothing. Just unlock it. That's all you got to do. See, mine was unlocked. Remember,
Then I go back.
you don't even have to worry about locking it again.
So then I just go back to system preferences and do that thing?
Yeah, do your change password. Yeah. Put your old one in, your new one, and then a hint for your new. And usually after 3 attempts, it will give you the hint. When you were trying to do the...
Okay, and then do I go back and lock it?
No, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. All right? Who's got another question? Somebody want to jump in?
Scotty, I have a question. On my iPad in my mail, I have probably 10,000 mails because I just never really throw them all away.
Yeah.
Most of the time, when I open mail, for some reason, it takes me down about 500 email messages.
Me
I
too.
have to scroll like 15 or 20 times to get to the top. Sometimes it starts at the top, but rarely.
Yeah.
And I've looked through preference. I have no idea why it's taken me there.
I'll tell you why.
I know you said it happened to you too.
I'll tell you why. You get a lot of email, and let me go into my email here, if I can get my mind around this. I'm going to go into, gosh, I don't have that turned on. All right. So let's say here is the last email that I selected from a couple of days ago. Now, I looked at, this was from 842, let's say, this WWE network that just came to the Apple TV. I select that email, and I've looked at that email. Now, it's 10 hours later, and 10 hours later, I've gotten 50 emails. When I close this mail app and I go open that mail app again, it's going to take me to that listing, which is chronologically way down. It's not just going to put me at the top. Now, logically, that actually makes sense if you think about it, because if they put you at the top, that makes you then have to think, well, I've got to go back to see the email I've gotten. So Apple's stance is we're going to put you at that earlier point, the last email that you had selected. I'm going to say that sentence again. It's going to put you at the point of the last email that you had selected, so that then you have to work your way up, therefore seeing, or at least having the chance to see all of your email until you finally get to the top. Does that make sense? There is no setting. There's no setting that's just going to put you to the top.
So if I happen to look at an email, go back and look at one that was 12 days ago, when I open it up, it's going to take me to 12 days ago.
That's exactly right.
Is there any quick way to get to the top of the email list?
On an iPad?
Scrolling to get to the top of the list?
Not that I know of. Anybody know anything?
Well, what if you clicked on the top email before you got out of the iPad? Then would it go back to that email so you wouldn't have to scroll so far?
That's right. It will go back to the top email, but remember, 6 hours later, the top email is no longer the top email. It's the 37th email. So, and that's kind of his problem.
But I've had to scroll way. I've had to scroll a long way to get to the top.
I just scroll. Sometimes it's a month ago, and I'm going all the way up.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer.
If it's read and they're all unread ahead of me.
Yeah, I don't have a real good answer to that. That's the only information I know. I don't know of a way to set it.
Before we got out of,
Joanne, what were we saying?
before we got closed mail on the iPad, if we clicked on the most recent one, when we opened it up, that's what we would come to. So we wouldn't have to scroll and scroll and scroll.
Yeah,
We would just scroll from the most recent one that we clicked on before we closed.
yeah, that's the way it's supposed to work. If you remember to select on the top email, but it's hard to remember that, especially if you go back through. Oh, I got to go back and select the top one so that next time. For me, I just I'm gonna go look at my iCloud email. I don't even read this email, but it started at the top, probably because I had nothing selected in there, though either. I think that's the way it's supposed to work. I don't have a better answer than that. Anybody got another question that I can try to not answer?
I'd like to find out how you know your computer is all in iCloud.
Okay. That's all right. That's a very big question, and so let me repeat that sentence. When your computer is on iCloud, your computer will never. Well, it's not. Your whole computer is not in iCloud. You have certain services that iCloud holds, like your calendars, your contacts. Pictures move through iCloud, but pictures are not stored in iCloud forever. I'll say that again. Pictures move through iCloud, but they're not stored. Your calendars are stored in iCloud. Your contacts are stored in iCloud. You can even purchase iTunes Match, and your music would be stored in iCloud, allowing that you continue to buy the iTunes Match subscription every year. But your pictures are not stored in iCloud, they're moved through. But the way that you determine what services are in iCloud, to kind of answer your question, is through system preferences. If you go into system preferences, you have an iCloud button, and there's iCloud. This computer that I'm using right now, I don't ever use. It's just a town hall computer, but I have iCloud turned on. So once it finally boots up, if it shows up, I've got my mail, which is only my at iCloud.com, at me.com, or at mac.com email. iCloud has nothing to do with at gmail.com, at yahoo.com. So if your iCloud email address is a Gmail or a Yahoo or a Bell South or a Roadrunner or an AT&T, that box won't be checked. But my calendars are moving, my contacts are moving, my reminders, my notes, and let me speak on notes real quick because I just talked about that mail concept. Notes will only be checked if you have an at me.com, at iCloud.com, or at mac.com email address. And I think, Emma Day, you do. You have an at me.com email address. All notes are yellow email. So you can't have a notes account unless you have an email account. Your bookmarks are in iCloud. Your passwords can be in iCloud if you want them to be. And this is a keychain. Notice this is off on mine. Your photos are moving through iCloud. So I like getting my photos on this computer. Even though I put my photos on a whole other computer, I like my photos landing here. And then documents that you create in iCloud with pages, keynote, numbers. Those documents live in iCloud forever. All right? But just to kind of go back and clarify that statement that you made, how do I know that my computer is in iCloud? Your computer is not. And what I mean by that is, let's say in this user that I'm in, and I go to my documents folder. I've got some documents here. Here's some documents that I've created. Those documents are not in iCloud. Those documents are locally on this computer only. That's all. That's the only place they are, and my backup of stuff. But those are not iCloud documents. All right. Well, I did not use pages or numbers in Keynote to create them. The only way that a document's going to go into iCloud is if you use pages, numbers, or Keynote. Now, a close relative to iCloud is Dropbox. And I do use Dropbox all the time. So I could easily take that document. Let's say here's I've got a propane tank, and here's my service agreement for my propane tank. I'm going to take that and I'm going to drag it and I'm going to move it to Dropbox. Now it is in a cloud service. It's not iCloud's cloud service, but is in Dropbox, and I can get access to it on any other device. So now that service agreement with my propane tank is accessible on all my computers that I have Dropbox turned on to. Dropbox is a close relative to iCloud. Dropbox stores documents. Really, is really the main thing it does. All right?
Well, I thought you had to order to do it for someone close to you, that you can put it in and send it to someone close to you. Yet, like they say in iCloud about, if you see someone, you can send it to them.
That's AirDrop.
Observation.
You're talking about AirDrop.
That's right.
You're talking about AirDrop
Yes,
there. So let me, I keep getting all these text messages here. All my friends are talking about this WWE network that's popped on here tonight. By the way, WWE network is going to change how television works. Whether you're a fan of wrestling or not, that doesn't matter. WWE they're the first. I thought it was going to be HBO or NFL. They are the first to say, okay, here is all the content of our channel. Every single thing that we've made, boom, here it is. You pay us directly. You pay us $10 a month, and we will give you all of our content. It's huge. It's huge. It's going to change the way TV. It is the first. It's the first major blow to cable television. And as we've seen newspapers die, and we've seen a lot of other services die, the internet has taken everything over. Well, cable television is next. Satellite TV is next. And the way that's going to die is that channels like WWE, like HBO, like NFL, content providers, Discovery Channel, Smithsonian, anybody that makes content, they're going to start selling their content individually, a la carte, right to us, and you'll buy your channels a la carte. You won't subscribe to cable television. It's coming, and the network that just got released today that's big, whether you're a wrestling fan or not. To go back and answer your question, Emma Day, what you're talking about is AirDrop. Now, right now in my house, I'm the only one in my house. So if I, on my iOS device, slide up from the bottom, I see AirDrop. And if I select AirDrop, it will show me all the people that are near my house. But I don't have anybody in my house right now. But if I were at your house and I opened up AirDrop, it would say, hey, Emma Day's available, and I could move some stuff back and forth. But I don't know anybody that uses AirDrop, really.
Well, how do you get Dropbox?
Okay, Dropbox is available at Dropbox.com. You go sign up for Dropbox. You just go to the internet, go to Dropbox.com, and sign up for a free account and download their app. And you do that on all your devices, and it's free. Dropbox.com. And you just sign up and download the app. And you can download the app on your device as well. They give you, I think it's 2 gigs of space for free. And then they want you to pay for more space. There is a little trick, and this is the last thing, and I'm going to get off of here. The little thing that Dropbox does do that's a little bit dirty is they automatically start putting any pictures that you add into Dropbox. And the reason they start putting your pictures into their Dropbox area is because they want to fill your Dropbox up so that they can send you an email saying, oh, you ran out of space. Well, you got all these pictures in here. You need to buy more space. Don't buy more space. What you do is you go to Dropbox's settings and you look under, I think it's advanced. We'll see here in a second. Nope, it's under account. Nope, it's under import. There it is. And you turn off enable Dropbox camera import. That's turned on by default. If you turn that off, then your pictures are not going into Dropbox and then you're not filling that space up. I consider Dropbox documents, Excel spreadsheets, text, PDF files, things like that. I don't consider Dropbox a place to store my movies. I don't consider it a place to store my pictures because I'm going to fill that space up really quick and get the email from them. Now, there are people that purchase a lot of Dropbox space, and that works for them. They like that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm very frugal. I don't like to spend money. So.
Quick question.
Yes.
I had a girlfriend tell me that all her photos are stored in iCloud, and she bought extra space in iCloud to store more photos.
She is wrong. She is 100% wrong. She bought more space. That's right. She paid $40 for maybe 50 gigs or 100 gigs or something. She bought more space. That's true. So she bought more space for email. She bought more space to put documents. She bought more space for her pictures to temporarily be there, but they're not stored there. All right?
Okay, and does the same thing apply to Google, if you back up all your pictures to Google?
You're talking about Google Plus?
Yes.
That's the
She
exact...
also backs up all her photos into Google Plus.
Okay, think about the following statement, and I may have even said this to you. Now, I don't need to back up. I back up all my pictures to Facebook. Facebook has got all my pictures. I back them all up to Facebook. Would you trust Facebook to keep a backup of your pictures? And what do you think I'm going to say to you when you say, Scotty, my hard drive died. Okay, Joanne, where's your backup? Well, my pictures are on Facebook. Okay, well, great. You go to Facebook and get them. I hope you enjoy pulling those back down. That's crazy. So, no, Google Plus is not a backup. Facebook is not a backup. A backup is well, I don't want to hold it up right now. A backup is a hard drive that's connected to your computer. That's a backup right there. That's a
So
backup.
iCloud is obviously not a backup either.
Not really, no. No. iCloud is where your contacts and your calendars are stored, and your documents are stored, and your pictures travel through. That's why I keep saying that in that very methodical way. I have at no time today represented in any way that iCloud is where your pictures get stored. It is not. It's where they live temporarily.
Get them out of there and into your computer if they travel through iCloud.
They land in iPhoto permanently through PhotoStream. All right, I'm going to get off of here. That's a bigger, deeper subject, and somebody's got a phone call, so I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to eat this spaghetti that I cooked earlier this evening with turkey, ground turkey, and hope you guys have a great evening, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Scotty.
All right,
Bye,
bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected.